for details.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 6 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Thursday morning. We're going to learn about our health. Leah Caruso is here. She is, of course, from Strive Rehabilitation, and she has invited some guests to educate us. And the phone lines are open. Am I doing that right, Leah? Are we doing phones today?
Yes.
Possibly? Okay.
Yes.
And in the studio, Allison Metcalf is here. Good morning, Allison.
Good morning.
Dr. Michael Wood is here. Robin was excited to see you, Doctor. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Great.
And David Barnes. Do I have that right? Good morning, David.
Correct.
How are you doing?
Doing great, thank you.
Good to see all of you. And today, what are we talking about, Leah?
Fitness.
Fitness. I got to pay attention to this one.
Fitness.
Yeah. Well, good morning to all of you. Thank you. So we got a New Year's resolution 2 weeks away, right? Maybe this is a good time.
It's a
right?
perfect time, yeah.
Yeah. Can we? But we can get over our heads, can't we? So we'll start with that. I mean, how do we know where we start? Do we go to you?
I think there's a couple of ways to approach it. I would say if you have pain, or what we call pain on board, so if your knees are hurting, if you're having back pain, etc., I would encourage you to go to a physical therapist first, just at least to get screened, checked out,
really?
make sure it's okay.
Okay.
Just like you would go to your cardiologist to make sure your heart's okay before you start exercising, or to your general practitioner for lab work, etc. And then if everything's okay, then it's about finding, maybe you need a personal trainer, or maybe you just need a friend who's going to keep you accountable.
Friend is better than those little wristbands, right?
It can be, yeah. But, a lot of those wristbands now, the activity trackers, you can join a community online and make.
Oh, okay. So you have real people.
Real people who you're
But the
competing
wristband
against,
is kind of
and it keeps-
keeping you honest or
Exactly,
something. Yeah.
right.
Well,
It's a way, if you're competitive, that's a way to compete with real people around the world.
that's a good idea. Have you ever worked with somebody who looked like they would never get in shape, but they did?
All the time.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
And how long does it take?
Again, that depends. But I would say you got to give it at least 3 months.
3 months? That doesn't sound like much time.
To notice major changes.
Start noticing changes? Is it more about the diet than the exercise, or is it both?
I would actually say about 80% of it is the diet. It doesn't do you any good if you're going to train and then leave and go eat McDonald's. Because, you're breaking down your muscle back to put things in there that aren't going to help your body recuperate and heal and build.
But some things. Okay, let's. The McDonald's is an easy one to pick on, but sometimes we feel that something is healthy and it really isn't.
Correct.
So we got to avoid that. I think those are harder to stay away from.
Well,
are bananas a bad fruit choice?
Not necessarily.
Okay, I thought I heard somewhere that bananas and corn, you stay with that vegetable and that fruit.
I stay away from corn.
You do?
That's just me.
Yeah.
So some people, it's personal preference. But it's all about timing. I think
Bread?
Dr. would agree.
Bread is a bad thing, or no?
I try and stay away from it, but it's not necessarily bad.
No. Yeah, and quantity is a big thing.
Exactly.
I mean, especially here. We overeat a lot of things,
Here?
even healthy food.
Meaning Ocala?
Ocala, here, America.
Oh, America. The whole country. Okay.
In general. A lot of people eat fairly healthy, but they still gain weight because their portion sizes are so big. I mean, if you look at the size of our plates now compared to 50 years ago, they've doubled in size. If you have a big plate, you're going to fill it up.
And in the Candyland, you can even eat the dishes.
See?
Yeah,
And that's a problem.
Sorry, it's a joke. Allison, let me ask you something. You are part of the H2U Wellness Program.
That's correct.
And 2 questions. What does that stand for? And the second question, it's just kind of 2 in 1. Mm-hmm. Do we have to have because a lot of the things that when Leah brings people to us, we have to have a doctor first, call you guys, and then we get into a program. Do we need that for this?
Well, first of all, H2U stands for Health to You.
Okay.
And it's a membership program geared for ages 50 and older through Ocala Health System. And you do not need a doctor's referral for what we do, for the most part.
So I wondered about that. So we could just hook up with a program because we want to be healthier.
Correct. With HTU, our focus is wellness and prevention. Those are the two prongs that we kind of look at. So we have three things. We have our community calendar, which are seminars that are free and open to the public. We have our HTU membership program, which offers free and discounted classes such as Tai Chi, ballroom dancing, line dancing, and our new all-men's fitness and core training class that David will be teaching for us.
But men and women should be separated in fitness, I think. I mean, because we're creepy, actually, aren't we?
Not always, but honestly, since we are...
Not me, but my sex. Everybody else on my side of the
Gotcha. Well, since we are looking at 50 and older, a lot of folks in that generation aren't comfortable exercising with the opposite gender. So we are looking at doing a little bit of separation there.
Sure.
We have some exercise classes already in place, but they're almost completely attended by females. So we were looking at how to get our male membership a little more involved, and David's one way we're doing that.
You have to wear spandex.
Well, then I'm not going. Then I won't be going. Do you know what I've done? When I was a kid, the doctor my mom took me to said I had flat feet. Okay, and I had to wear these things in my shoes. And only recently have I started noticing, because I stopped wearing them. When I was a kid. We called them cookies. Remember that?
Cookies.
It's beyond your years. But anyway, so now they call them something like, what do they call them?
Arch support.
Yeah. And I went online. I mean, they can be $20 if it's Dr. Scholl's. It could be $300 if it's somebody customized one. Yeah. But so I bought some, and it made a big difference for me.
Absolutely.
So I don't even know why. Maybe because I got heavy and my feet are hard to hold up, right? No? You don't think that's what it is?
Not necessarily.
No.
But why does it hurt so bad? What is that?
What is what?
That pain when you have flat feet. What is that?
Well, was it pain in your ankles, or was it pain in your knees, your back?
My feet.
Just your feet?
Yeah.
Well, everything's stretched out there, so you're not getting the support that you need. So the bones are not in the right place. The arch that you have is not tight like it's supposed to be. The muscles have to work harder, so they pull a little harder. So it aches.
Story of my life, not tight, Rob. Okay.
It just seems like more and more people are being diagnosed with some kind of chronic disease, and now the fatality rate is going up. Why is that?
Oh man, that's a loaded question. The lifestyle that we live as Americans, it could probably be contributed to the majority of it. You look at we're always on the go, we're always busy, we commute a lot further now than we used to, and that leads to poor dietary choices, too tired, not enough time to exercise. And all of those things lead to obesity, and obesity has been linked to the majority of chronic diseases.
Absolutely.
So my notes say after the break, we're going to talk about the Senior Wellness Community Center. And what I wanted to say, Doctor, and I know you know this because Robin told you just before we went on the air, that one of the ladies at her church heard or watched one of the videos, actually, this is why I love doing these videos, because this was after the fact. This was some time after the fact.
It's been a while since we did that video.
So she, for some reason, needed to Google it or whatever, and found you talking about it. And what I wanted to say is that you don't have to wait for us to interview somebody. You've got these seminars that people can go to regularly. So
correct.
So I want to make sure we get that information out and how people can find out what those schedules are. So we'll take a little break and be right back. Dr. Michael Wood is here. Allison Metcalf is here. David Barnes is here. And, of course, the lovely, beautiful Leah Caruso down at the end of the table. We'll take a little break and be right back. Plus, of course, we'll give you information, contact information, phone numbers, etc. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For today, Thursday, a warm day with clouds and sunshine and a high of 83 to 87. Becoming mostly cloudy Thursday night, remaining warm and humid with a shower or thunderstorm in the area, the low 68 to 72. Friday will be mostly cloudy and not as warm with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm around, highs in the 70s. Saturday, mostly sunny, highs in the mid-60s to lower 70s. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Okay, guys, the clock is ticking down, and there's only a few shopping days left. And let's face it, we all know that there's only one true gift that never fails: jewelry. The place to go? J&J Jewelers in the Jasmine Plaza on 200. Silver is the new gold, and J&J Jewelers has a new line of heirloom quality silver from the collection of Thistle & Bee. And as the exclusive Thistle & Bee dealer, you won't find these pieces anywhere else nearby. Beautifully crafted pieces that can be passed down for generations. And they've made it a little easier on us guys too, because whatever collection she likes, there's a perfectly matched piece, so we don't have to guess. And she won't have to guess where you went when she opens that elegant gift-wrapped box from J&J Jewelers. And while they might have taken some of the guesswork out, they can't slow down the clock. So you'd better hurry down to J&J Jewelers, 6160 Southwest State Road 200 in the Jasmine Plaza.
Where am I going to hide the presents so my family can't see what I got them for Christmas? Hey, I know. Neighborhood Storage has units for only $20 till the end of the year. Yep, Elf Storage. With 20 locations, Neighborhood Storage is easy to find and use and only $20. Elf Storage. I mean, Neighborhood Storage. So when you rent the unit before the end of the year and mention WOCA, get a free t-shirt. Neighborhood Storage. I like it. New customers and additional units only. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
Hi, this is Alex.
And this is Jessica.
And we just want to wish everybody out there a Merry Christmas
and a Happy New Year.
Your source for the #1 sports weekends. Fox Sports, only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM.
All right, 18 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. All right, one of the things I wanted to make sure that we got the information out about is that when we do these interviews with the folks from Strive and from Ocala Health, the one beautiful thing I think that happens is that people find out about it from other people. So you're listening right now. The information might apply to you. It might apply to somebody you know and care, right?
Right.
And so they share these interviews, and it is interesting. And Dr. Wood, you're a perfect example of how that actually came to be. And Robert was so excited to say that this. You didn't know Dr. Wood was coming in today, did you?
No,
It was just one of those.
I did not.
All right, so we're going to talk about the Senior Wellness Community Center.
Okay.
Is this something new?
It actually is not new. It's been around for a long time. Over 6 years in the location that it is now, which is out at 9850 Southwest 84th Court, Suite 500,
Okay.
or the Gate to Top of the World.
The gate to the top of the world.
Yes.
I always wanted to go there.
Yes. We're outside the gate, but we're right by the gate. So it's been around for a number of years, and the H2U program has been around even longer than that. There was a point where they had a presence here at the mall, and it was under the name Golden Friends, Senior Friends, so it's the same kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
But the newer name is
Oh, I
H2U.
remember now.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's the same basic program. So we've been around for a little while. We just aren't very well known, unfortunately.
Well, let's help change that. Let's make that change. And for the listeners, these are really good programs, because I remember what was it called again?
Golden Friends.
Golden Friends.
I remember
yeah.
the Golden Friends
Mhm.
program. Yeah. Okay. So you sometimes have field trips and other things too, right?
We haven't done field trips as much lately, but we are actually looking to partner with Colette Travel to do some domestic and foreign tours.
This
guided
goes
tours.
back to I'm 60.
Yeah.
So I remember before I was 55. Well, didn't it start at 55?
Yes.
Yeah. So I remember when I wasn't eligible. Now I'm eligible. I can go on these rides and stuff. Is there a Polar Express in there? I always wanted to do that. No Polar Express?
No Polar Express,
No.
unfortunately. No.
So is there a place that there used to be a magazine, right, that you published?
We have a newsletter.
A newsletter, okay.
that comes out every month for our local H2U affiliate. And H2U is a national program, so any H2U member also gets a quarterly magazine from National.
Okay.
That includes benefits that are on the national level, like pharmacy discounts, travel discounts, that sort of thing. So there's kind of a tier of benefits that you get with H2U.
And is that newsletter available as online?
Unfortunately, not
No,
yet.
not yet, okay.
We just transitioned our website recently at Ocala Health, so we're starting to kind of upgrade some of those things that we weren't able to do before, but that is one of my goals for this year, to get the newsletter online. But anybody can call us at the Senior Wellness Center at 401-1338, and we'll be happy to send a newsletter out to you. To even talk to you just about how to become a member if you want more information on that, or on any of our programs, including the community calendar with the free seminars that we offer and our diabetic education program.
I'm writing down the number. What did you say, 401?
401-1338.
1338, okay.
And that's really important about diabetes education, because so many people seem to have that generated now, and we have seen people that have even lost some of their toes. They've even lost limbs. Because of diabetes.
Absolutely. And that is of the three things we do, the diabetic education program itself is the one thing that does require a doctor's referral for that specific for that specific program.
Okay.
However, we do have a monthly support group for diabetics that's run by the same person, Amy Freeman, our registered dietitian who's a certified diabetic educator. So she does the classes as well as the support group.
Yeah.
And we also have speakers in throughout the year, a couple or three times a year, that come and talk, practitioners, nurse practitioners, or physicians that come and talk about diabetes as well.
Yeah, and
that's free.
And see, some of the feedback we get sometimes from the videos is, and I don't know if we're not carrying our way, but they'll say, "I wish they had asked," and then fill in the blank.
Right.
We don't know everything to ask. The phone lines are open when we're live, but obviously once it's on tape, you can't call in. So that's why I think these seminars are really important to get the word out about.
Absolutely. And we have other seminars as well. Cardiac health. We have a couple of surgeons that come in and talk about bariatric surgery, or certain things like with esophageal reflux and some of the procedures that are out there when medications aren't working. We have people come in and talk about how to protect yourself against scams as a senior.
Oh, okay.
So we have lots of different free seminars that folks can come to.
That's good stuff, yeah.
And David, as a certified fitness instructor, do you just address the questions from the patients and their needs and help them through it, or are you also involved with the family so they could follow through at home?
Basically, what I try and do is help people hold themselves accountable. So typically what I do when I first sit down with a potential client is we do a questionnaire. One of the biggest things I ask them is, what are your hobbies? What are things that you like to do? What are things you like to do with your family? Do you like to travel? And show them ways that they can basically be successful at what they're trying to do, because most of the time it's just a lack of education. People have a goal, they just have no idea where to start. So I try and help them point it in the right direction, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what else comes to mind is when somebody's trying to get into shape, they look for like a fast track to do that.
Of course.
And one fast track, which is always a disaster waiting to happen, is basically starving yourself.
Correct.
So, I mean, you can't eat nothing. You have to eat
Absolutely.
something. Right.
The biggest thing I do with a lot of people is have them do I'm a certified sports nutritionist, and I have them, which is completely different to a dietitian. I'd like to point that out.
Is that right? It seems like it would be the same, doesn't it?
Dietitians are very more qualified than I am. I just like to point that out.
Okay.
One of them, requires a lot more schooling. But basically is find out exactly how many times they're eating. It's no coincidence that over 70% of America suffers from obesity, and over 70% of America only eats twice a day. What we're essentially doing is starving ourselves and slowing down our metabolic rate.
It's me. It's me, yeah. Sometimes once a day.
Yeah, and so what happens...
You would think that once a day I wouldn't be fat.
What actually happens is your body doesn't know when it's getting its next meal. So what it's going to do, it doesn't matter if you were eating... steamed broccoli and salmon, your body's going to take it and store it because it has no idea when it's going to get nutrition again.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Steamed broccoli and salmon. No tartar sauce? So, Doctor, do you have people? When Allison was talking about the what do you call it again when you do the bypass surgery? What is that called?
Bariatric.
A lot of people ask for that. We know somebody who wanted that. Was told you're not heavy enough.
Right.
And so instead of just, okay, well then let me start backing up using some advice maybe for health, for nutrition, they gained weight so they can have the surgery.
Yes. Wow.
I know that's crazy, and I hope she's not listening, but but it's what
a lot of McDonald's.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I just think because right when you've had people in here, Leah, before that had the surgery, before the surgery, they're educated on what they're going to be eating afterwards.
Right. I think the hospital works alongside them very well with, they do counseling. Allison, fill in the blanks here, but they do counseling with them even before they even get started on that, because it is a whole process.
There's a lot that goes into it. It's not just going in and, hey, I'm going to have the surgery.
Right.
There's a whole pre-program that happens between Amy, that same dietitian, is now running the bariatric pre-class as well. But there's also psychological things they look at too. They have to make sure you're psychologically prepared for the changes you're going to have to undergo and undertake, because your whole way of eating and your whole way of life completely changes. And honestly, our surgeons aren't going to do the surgery if you haven't shown that you have tried everything. You've tried to do everything the right way, and it's just not working. You're just not able to lose the weight. They don't just jump in and do the surgery. So I think that's really important to note as well.
What comedians talk about? Like, if you see a fat comedian, he's always talking about food, right? And that's kind of like that ink blot test, isn't it? Where, what do you see? You see a naked lady? Well, okay, that might, yeah. What was it called?
Rorschach.
Or you see food, right? Yeah. So I see salmon and broccoli.
Exactly.
With cheese and tartar sauce.
Definitely.
Well, David, when people have these different surgeries, how do you help them through their fitness program? Because sometimes you have to really know what exercises or regimen you can and cannot do.
Well, first thing foremost, anytime anybody has surgeries or anything affiliated with, let's say, like the gastric bypass or any kind of recovery surgery, the first thing I have them do is get cleared by an MD.
Absolutely.
Because that, just for their part, for my part, it covers both ends. I want to make sure that they're capable of training, because there is a time factor in that. After that, believe it or not, with the gastric bypass, you're kind of doing exactly what I want you to do. You're eating a smaller portion, just more frequently. When you meet with somebody and you tell them who's trying to lose weight that you want them to eat 6 or 7 times a day, they look at you like you're crazy. And believe it or not, that's actually what you want to do. You want to think of it like a little bird. You're eating a little bit here and there to sustain yourself, and then you let it burn off, and then you do it again.
Do you know the bird is the animal most likely to have been alive last week? When you're eating meat, have you ever noticed this? Have you ever seen? There was a thing about turkey. Like, if you're eating a hamburger, that cow probably died a month ago. But when you're eating turkey, that bird was still picking bugs off the ground last week. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That is.
It makes me sad. Like summer sausage. That guy was dead last year.
That I believe.
All right. So what do we do to join the H2U, and do we have to show up at the top of the world? Is that where we go?
You can certainly come by our offices. We'd be happy to show you our space and our facility and let you see what we have there. It's very simple. It's a $20 a year membership.
$20 a year?
$20 a year.
Holy mackerel.
I know. And $35 for a household. So if you live at the same address, then you're a household as far as we're concerned.
Wow.
So it's fairly inexpensive.
You don't make any money at this.
We really don't. I mean, it's really an outreach program for the community more than anything. So
it just pays for the membership card, sounds like.
Pretty much. But we also, we can mail something to someone if they want to call us. If you live in an area of town that's not real close to us just to do your membership, then we can certainly mail our newsletter and our brochure out to you.
Oh, man. Definitely. Listeners, I'm not familiar with the way it is now, but I remember from years ago, it's a wonderful program.
It really is.
Definitely join this.
I have just a quick little story. I have a lady who was in her 80s who was really losing ground with walking and walking with a walker. She started our chair yoga class, our chair total body fitness class, which is all sitting for the most part. Within 3 weeks, she was literally carrying her walker instead of leaning on the walker.
Wow.
It's a wonderful story. You guys are miracle workers. Thank you, Leah, for bringing us some great guests. Dr. Michael Wood, good to see you again. You got a 5-star review from at least one of your fans out there. Allison Metcalf, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And David Barnes, thank you.
Pleasure.
You're my inspiration. Look how good shape you are. Look at that. All right, we'll be right back. Thank you.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. A spate of terror threats against schools kicking up